Yes, g'day. Welcome to another instalment of 5 Minutes with Fitzy, the man himself, ready to go. Hello, Peter.
Hello, James. How beautiful is this world to live in? How sunny is the day? Have you noticed that the birds are singing, the kids are smiling, everything's fine with the world today? What's the line from, I think, Milton? To be young was very, oh, what a bliss, oh, what bliss to be, oh, what bliss to be alive in that dawn, and to be young was very heaven. After, I'll get to it, after that game on Sunday afternoon, how fantastic were those Wallabies? They haven't won in New Zealand in 20 years. New players, everything's against them. And from the opening minute, they were competing. They were fantastic. And we ended up with a fantastic 16-all win to the Wallabies. That is the thing. Look, it's a moral victory. It was a moral victory against those guys. And here's the other thing, James. I like watching rugby league, and you like watching rugby league. I've always said to you, more people have hosted Channel 9, more people have walked on the moon than have hosted Channel 9 rugby league broadcasts, like you, like Kenny Sutcliffe used to do. I know you're a rugby league man, and most rugby league games as a television spectacle are better than most rugby union games. No doubt about it. It's made for television. However, the Fitzsimon's theorem is this: while there is nothing so dull as a dull rugby match, Jesus wept, there is nothing so brilliant as a great rugby match, and that was a great rugby match. And how well did they play? And the thing was this, that last 8 minutes, there is no sport in the world that can deliver something like that, where for 8 minutes you go, like that, you know, and it was like that for 8 minutes. The final siren goes, it goes from one end to the other. It could have gone to either side. I watched yesterday the LA Lakers, you know, they were 20 or 30 points ahead, they won easily. But even in a basketball match where, you know, it's 101 to 102, you can have a tense final 10 seconds, but 8 minutes of sustained excitement like that, nothing better.
It's hard to argue with that. It was thrilling. And you talk about time in play, and that's the beautiful thing about stoppage time, is the ball has to be in play and moving and being used, and it was. The question is, and I've seen the headline since Sunday afternoon, this 16-all win, as you like to call it, Peter, one of the headlines was the test match that saved rugby union. I'm guessing from your reaction today, you certainly feel it has, and did rugby need saving?
I feel exactly that. For the last few months, you know, I don't know why particularly, but this is the truth. All I do as a sports commentator, journalist, is tell the truth. For the last few months, if they were playing an important rugby match outside my front door, I'd pull the curtain shut. I just don't care. I just lost interest in it. I really have. But Sunday afternoon, geez, I remember now. That's why I loved it like that, because it was so fantastic. And we need the Wallabies to be competitive, you know, like to get, for this to, you know, this was the foundation stone. If I, however, maybe a narc on a couple of things, the first two scrums, you know, they collapse, they get the ball, I couldn't follow it, but just no. If I were to associate rugby, you know, if I think of rugby league in the last couple of years particularly, what the image that I most associate rugby league with is a fantastic winger running at 1,000,000 miles an hour with 2 centimetres of space to work with, dives for the corner, twists and contorts his entire body so that 98% of him is outside the line, and the 2% is his little finger, and he plonks the ball just inside. And that is fantastic. It's a wonderful athleticism, and I see it in rugby league more often more than ever lately. Rugby union in the last few years, I think of collapsed scrums, and I can't watch it. I cannot watch it. But what we saw again, mostly Sunday, was little of that. Those first 2 scrums did collapse, and it wasn't great, but then it came good. Similarly with the line out, the Wallabies have got to sort themselves. So 19 times out of 20, we get the ball in the line out. There are things that they need to work on, but by and large, it was the shot in the arm that the game needed. The danger now, the obvious danger is, you know, the All Blacks know they won't be ambushed. They know they're up against the serious side. They're at Eden Park. Everybody's watching. If you had to put the sheep station upon it, you'd probably say All Blacks by 20 or 30, you know, like, because that's what's happened in past years. That happened year or two ago under the Wallabies had a good win, and then the All Blacks came back, put 30 or 40 or even 50 points on them. It was amazing. But this generation, and full marks to Dave Rennie, the new coach. I don't quite know what he's done. I don't quite know how he's done it, but what a brilliant beginning. And the fellow, Reece Hodge, who had the kick to win, that was an amazing kick, and it could have gone either way. And that it hit the post, and yet the Wallabies got it back was fantastic. That's a pretty good effort, James. You and I, if we're starting 55 yards back,
and it was a long way up that post. That was a 75-metre kick.
Yeah, the discipline. Like if you're there behind the kicker and you've got to follow up, you'd think, what are the chances that this ball's going to hit the post, come back into play, and we're going to have a chance to recuperate? Well, there were guys there on that 1 in 50 kids. Yeah.
Can I ask though, and maybe this is the leaguey in me, where's the drop goal? Where's the field goal when they're right in front? I know it's wet conditions. In those 8 minutes, most of the possession was in the Wallabies' way in front of the goalposts.
I was like you. I was shouting to the screen, where is Jonathan Thurston? Oh, God. Wrong code, and he retired.
Oh.
But yes,
that was the most frustrating part about it. There were opportunities where a Dan Carter, a Stephen Larkham would have gone over here, straight over.
Although the wonderful story on the Stephen Larkham kick, which you're referring to, which for the younger ones, semi-final against South Africa, 1999, in the misty gloom, wind howling, Larkham from 55, well, it was 45 metres out on the angle. He hadn't kicked a field goal since the under-9s. He belted it, and if there'd been a Kookaburra sitting on the black dot, would have knocked him off. It was just the most wonderful kick. All right, I've done my 5 minutes of fame. I'm done.
Yep, I'll have to start charging us overtime. Thanks, Peter. I imagine we'll be talking next week about Wallabies All Blacks again, and who knows, can they break the hoodoo? 1986, the last time they won at Eden Park. I'll catch you next week.
I think when you and I talk, it'll hopefully be Sunday on Sports Sunday, and I think the Wallabies will have played the day before, so we'll be celebrating a victory. You bring the champagne, I'll bring the black tea.
Don't get ahead of yourself, but good times for the people in the world of rugby union. Thanks, Peter.
See you. Bye-bye. Thanks.
5 minutes with Fitzy.